Hello, hello, hello. I hope all the people that are watching this are well. Very nice to have you with us. If you feel like going and tweeting about it or something like that, just to let other people know that we're doing this live, that would be very, very nice. This is the very, very last thing of this year. Well, this year, as I say that, this time around on the Page Builder Summit. Who knows? Maybe we'll get another one in before the end of the year. But the very last event, and it's my absolute pleasure to invite somebody that I've not met before. It's Justin Neely from GoDaddy Pro. How you doing, Justin?
Doing fantastic. How about yourself?
Yeah, good, thank you. It's kind of nice that that you, one of the major sponsors of our event this year, have got the very last event. There seems to be some kind of nice symmetry about that. So, thank you to you guys for helping us out and put on the summit this year. We're here today to talk about GoDaddy Pro and what it can do for you. Just before I do that, I'll just do a tiny bit of housekeeping, if that's all right. Couple of things to say. Firstly, if you've got any questions during the course of this webinar, please feel free to drop them in the comment. We're using a platform called StreamYard, and if you're in a Facebook group watching this, you'll need to go up to the text, the thread, if you like, and then click read more, and then click on the StreamYard link if you wish to share your photo and name. Otherwise, it just comes along as an anonymous Facebook user, and we don't know who you are. But if you're over on the YouTube channel, then we can see that if you're logged into Google. So anyway, if you want to drop in any questions, please feel free to do that. And the title of today's presentation, How to Use GoDaddy Pro to Save Time Whilst Designing Websites in WordPress. If you've been using WordPress for any length of time and you've got a bunch of clients, you've probably already discovered that, it gets a bit tiresome having to go in, log into each website and update things each time. So we need a tool for that. And we have a tool for that. And Justin's going to explain how it all works, if that's all right, Justin.
I think that's all right.
Nice.
All right, let's go ahead and get started.
Okay, I will remove myself and I'll be back if anything goes wrong. See you in a bit, Justin.
I'll miss you. All right. Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Neely, and we're going to be talking about how to use GoDaddy Pro to save time while designing websites in WordPress. Quick little tidbits about me. I'm a product manager at GoDaddy, focusing on the GoDaddy Pro program, building out the next iteration of it and all the awesome extra benefits that you get for being a GoDaddy Pro member. But I also freelance by night. So GoDaddy Pro, product manager by day, freelance website designer by night. I've been designing websites for, 10 or so years now. It's been a while. Looking back at like super old designs, I cringe, but I'm proud of how far I've come. I'm sure as all you have when you're looking at your current designs versus your designs when you first got started. I'm a lover of optimized workflows and automations. Since I have a full-time job and freelance, it leaves me with little time to spend time with my family, my fiance, my friends, things like that. So anything that I can do to optimize my workflows and just make myself more efficient, I'm all about it. I love finding new different tools and workflows. So if you have any suggestions while I'm going through this, I'd love to know in the comments. But typically for my website builds, I'll use either Elementor, or more recently these days, I've been trying out the new Oxygen builder that people have been talking about. I've been falling in love with it so far. But I wanted to start off with this quote by William Penn, and that is, time is what we want most, but what we use worst. And I know that sometimes we just want to be watching Netflix or hanging out or are focusing on like the super minute details of a site that maybe I don't need to be spending all my time on and just focusing on building out the site. There's a lot more valuable things that I could be spending my time on. But I definitely think we use time the worst. But I would love to know, why do you want more time? So if you're watching this, drop a comment below. But I'll talk a little bit about why I want more time. Like at the end of the day, like there's all these different reasons of I want more time to spend with my family, handle more clients, drink Mai Tais in Tahiti, whatever that ends up being. But I think it all comes down to the freedom to take my day back. When I have more time that I can kind of control, I get to use that and do whatever it is that I feel is relevant or valuable at that moment. And I hope that with this webinar that you get some tips and tricks to give yourself a little bit more time back every day, every month, every year, to take your day back and take back control so you do whatever you want to do. So we'll be focusing on 3 main areas of the web design project process. There's a ton of other phases in a project that goes into building out a website for your clients. But I'll start off with just the setup, the development, and the handoff here. So for those of you that aren't familiar rather with GoDaddy Pro, I'll start it off with this quote by Dominique Hart, and that is, GoDaddy Pro provides a one-click access into our clients' worlds that we're able to seamlessly manage, and that's huge. And for me as a freelancer, I think that's huge for me as well. But the GoDaddy Pro dashboard has a ton of different features and tools to help the client management and site management process go so much smoother. So with like the site management, there are things like the backups, the updates of the plugins, the themes, the core version, with safe updates too. So it'll do a backup right before and then kind of go through and do the updates. If anything goes wrong, it just rolls that back. There's migrations, security checks, uptime monitoring, client reports, single sign-on, and a lot more. And then with the client management part of it is there's the single sign-on to manage your clients' GoDaddy's accounts. So they don't have to send you their username and password. If you need to get in there and do whatever you might need to do, you can just click a button and log in. And then there's the shop for your clients. So I know me personally, there's been many times where I'll recommend my client to go, hey, go ahead and pick up the cPanel hosting or manage WordPress or whatever the product is. And then they come back with like, cool, I got website builder. There you go. Like, that's not the thing that I need. I can't use this. Let's go ahead and undo that. So that's been helpful for me just to make sure I get them what I need to get started with the project itself. But GoDaddy Pro is an entire system, and we're building out a new experience called the Hub that'll be launching to everywhere pretty soon. It's in the US only right now as we kind of build it up, but lots of new awesome features there. So I'd love to get started with just the setup process. And when you think about setting up a WordPress site and all the minute details that you need to do each and every time, it adds up. And when you start to think about like your workflows and where you can automate or simplify it, it really just starts with just jotting down what that process is. That's definitely my process whenever I start to kind of dissect and figure out what I can streamline or what I can get rid of and things like that. I'm just writing it down on a piece of paper and then going through that to see what the possibilities are. So when thinking about tasks that you must do over and over with each new website, they can be purchase a new hosting plan or get it set up on an existing hosting plan, just depending. You got to install WordPress, install your default plugins, install your default theme that you use, install any additional plugins needed for that specific job. So if it's a WooCommerce build or a membership, or they want some super fancy thing that needs additional plugins, and then you got to go through each of the plugin settings and then configure those plugins. Then you got to start on the navigation and the footer structure, maybe the page layouts, and so on. There's so many different things that we have to do each and every time we set up a new website. And when I don't follow this process I'm going to be teaching you, it definitely adds up in the long run here. So with using GoDaddy Pro, I hope to eliminate this and just have you focus on purchasing a new hosting plan, installing WordPress, and so on. And getting rid of that chunk in the middle there to where you don't have to install the normal themes, normal plugins and themes you use every time. Like we know we use certain page builder, security plugin, SEO plugin, things like that. And then those configurations and settings as well. So the part that I'm really going to focus on, I'm going to do a live demo. And as we all know, live demos can be super fun sometimes, or technically not so fun. We're going to need to knock on wood, and hopefully it's going to be great. But the template builder allows you to pick a set of plugins and themes to create a new template, and then you can use that template to deploy websites super fast. It can be a fresh WordPress install, so just the plugins and themes and stuff are set up, or it can be a template from a backup of a live site. So let's go ahead and swap over there. So this is the GoDaddy Pro Sites dashboard. This is my test account, so everything is going to be super messy in here. And you can see I've got a lot of plugins and updates and themes to do. But there's all sorts of different things we can do. Before you really get started with the template, you want to add your first website onto the site's dashboard. It's pretty easy to do. You'll just click this little plus icon up here and then choose Add Website. You would skip a step. You would type in your domain name. So one of mine is Creative Free. Go ahead and add the website, and then it'll ask for the username and password when it pops up here. You can also do a connection key instead. That if you install the Manage WP Worker plugin, it'll provide a connection key that you can use. But you just type that in, and then it's connected. Once that is set up, you'll have a dashboard that looks something like this for the specific site. You have all your different options on the left-hand side that you can kind of go through and modify the backups, the plugins, themes, users, all that good stuff. But I like to start with having a site on the GoDaddy Pro sites before I go through the template process. But once I have this set up, I would go over and start to build my template. You click the little profile on the top right, and then choose Template Builder. You can see here, I already have a couple of options. We'll disregard those for now, but we're going to go ahead and do a brand new template. We'll give it a name. Page Builder Summit. And then there's two different types of templates. There's the clean WordPress, where it starts with the latest US version of the WordPress, or you can do an existing backup. And that's going to do all the plugins and theme configurations. But we'll start off with just the simple way now. Do the clean WordPress. And then we're going to go ahead and click Add Plugins. You can see here it has a couple of plugins by default: Kismet, Hello Dolly, Managed WP Worker. Managed WP Worker is required. That's how this system connects to your WordPress site. But if we don't want any of the other plugins, we can either delete them or make sure they're not activated. But if we're going ahead and adding up new plugins, we would just search. So maybe I'm going to use Elementor for this site. Search it, plug that in. Cool. Essential add-ons, might as well. You got Yoast for SEO, Security for security, and so on. And then I can go ahead and make sure that these are activated by default if I'd like, and go from here. The update option here, it's going to make sure that whatever version, when you do eventually use this plugin, is the most latest and up to date. If you want to keep it that specific version, you would just uncheck that. Most often, you'll want to make sure everything's up to date with the WordPress plugins, just better for security and performance, all that good stuff. We'll keep that there for now. There's a couple other options here as well that you can do when it comes to adding plugins to your website. So you can import your WordPress.org username, and then it'll show you all the plugins that you've starred on the WordPress.org repository, making some things super quick. You can go and check out some of the existing sites. So we'll just choose this temporary site, and then it'll show you all of the plugins that site has. And then you just choose a plugin from the list and add it to your template. And then you would just kind of go through, same process. Obviously, you don't want to do Yoast a couple times. And sure, we would activate that if I were doing WooCommerce. There's an external destination option. So if you have these plugin files on Dropbox, you can connect it here as well. Or Envato, if you've purchased a plugin through the Envato marketplace, you can integrate that as well. Or you can upload a zip. So if you've downloaded a premium plugin from somewhere and can't keep track of wherever you download them, if you're a downloads folder hoarder like I am, this is super handy. So I'll create a template and throw these there. But once I have my setup kind of created for whatever plugins that I may need or want, I'll just go ahead and go over to Add Themes. And then same process. Probably don't need so many default things. If I'm using Elementor, I'm probably going to check out the Hello Elementor theme. would want to activate that one. But I also want to make sure all these are updated. Again, same process. You can do the star themes. You can do the existing sites, do the external destination, and upload a zip. Then when you're all done, it'll validate the template. And then we've got our page builder summit template. So this is super handy. So when I'm spinning up a brand new site, if I just want this fresh install and just skip the steps of installing my default plugins and themes, I would just click on Page Builder Summit. It'll show me what WordPress version it is, the active theme, active plugins, and then the option to use the latest. Then I would click Clone. Then you'll have two different options when you're going to go ahead and click clone. We either have a brand new website where you're going to need to know the destination, the database information, and FTP credentials, or it's going to be an existing website in Pro Sites. And this is where I recommended having it in here first, because then there's not really any heavy lifting that you have to do. You would just select the site, create a brand new username, password, and enter the email address for admin, and then click clone. Takes, I don't know, between 2 and 5 minutes to get this all spun up and ready to go. And then you have all those plugins and everything kind of set up and going. So now with this, there is that other option for the existing backup. So what I recommend when it comes to the existing backup is really taking it a step further. And when you think about like themes, for example, when you download a new theme, whether it's a free theme sometimes or a premium theme, there are like demo sites, right, that you can kind of import that has all the settings kind of created. I would recommend creating one site or multiple sites, just depending, that has kind of your default setup with all your plugins set up and configured the way that you normally like. Make a backup of that, and then you can just choose that as your existing backup. So if I made this SBH site, that site, I would just choose that as my backup. I would select the backup, most recent backup that I want to use. It'll say, cool, you have all these active plugins. All these are already set up and configured. This theme is already set up and configured. If I want to go ahead and add any additional plugins, I can absolutely do that. If I want to add any additional themes, I can do that. But then I'm done. And I have that new template that has all the plugin configurations and theme settings set up. So that way I don't have to do that anymore. I'll keep it pretty generic for my default template. But then taking it a step further, you can really start to expand on these templates, right? So you can create one of these template websites that has all of your Elementor templates saved on here. So in Elementor, you can save a page as a template or a section as a template, create a repository that all lives on. And then just when you spin up your new site, you can start to Lego block those things in. Or you can do what theme developers do and create your own like demo starter sites for a bunch of different things that you may want to build, and start to kickstart the design process to where your nav's already set up, your footer's already set up, maybe basic page layout is created, and really making yourself more efficient with your website builds. All right, and now in the development section here, this is the part where you're designing the website. And now I would say that accidents definitely happen, and sometimes it's a train wreck like the image to the right, and sometimes they're minor, right? But you might be working on a site all day only to end up accidentally wiping out everything on the server, right? Definitely asking for a friend. It's never happened to me ever before. But most backup services, they're typically daily, right? They're every 24 hours. So your last backup may have been that night. So any work that you've done throughout that day is probably moot. It's gone, especially if you wipe the server. And having to go back and redo all that extra work, it's going to be just so frustrating to have to go back and do, especially when it could have been saved. So with the Pro Sites system and the backups, you can set up hourly backups. Sorry, one sec. Been trying to hold that one back. But you have backups that you can set for every hour. So when I'm developing any website, I head over here, activate the backups, and change the settings to hourly. And that way, if I've made a mistake, I don't have to time travel 1 hour or 40 minutes or whenever that last backup was made. And I sometimes skip troubleshooting an error that I accidentally caused and just restore a backup from there. So now I worry about losing a ton of time developing my site, and it's super easy to set up. So if I go back over here to my Pro Sites dashboard, I can go over to one of my WordPress sites. I would go over to backups. If you haven't activated it yet, you would just click activate. Monthly backups are free. The daily backups are like $1 something or free if you're GoDaddy hosted. But if you go over to hourly, you can see that it's an additional $3.60 a month. I don't know about you, but having that for the peace of mind that I don't have to lose a bunch of my time if I make a mistake, absolutely worth it to me. And I end up just baking that into the project cost anyways. But you would just choose that cycle and then choose save settings. And now it's going to run every 53 minutes, at 153, 253, 53, 53, and so on. To where if I need to go back and restore one of my sites, I don't have to go and do it from yesterday, what's the 19th? I can just do it from an hour ago or 20 minutes ago. And it definitely has saved me a ton of time since discovering that this can go up to every hour with the development process. And then when it's all said and done, I'll move that over back to daily and let my client go from there. It's also super helpful if either you have an e-commerce site or your client has an e-commerce site. Because one thing that's forgotten a lot too is the orders that come in. And if something happens where you have to restore a backup, all the orders that day can be potentially lost unless it's being backed up somewhere else. So making sure that they don't lose out on their orders and the money that they've just earned, that's definitely helpful. All right, and then the last phase here is the handoff. So whether you're building it for a client or you're building your website on a development server and you need to move it to the live, that handoff can be sometimes tricky. So it's a final countdown. Again, you're almost there. There's a number of ways you can migrate a site. If you want to go hardcore and do it manually via FTP and SSH and MySQL too, I applaud you. I used to try to do that back in the day. Like, it's possible. It just takes up a ton of my time. Again, I'm trying to optimize workflows. There's plugins such as All-in-One Migration. It's a fantastic plugin. It works almost every single time. Magic, maybe, if you've got the magic to do it, please share. Or a software using a third-party tool such as GoDaddy Pro. So I'm going to show you a quick little demo when it comes to using GoDaddy Pro here. Oops. Swipe. All right. So for this, I definitely recommend having both sites set up within GoDaddy Pro. So you'll have your development site set up. We'll call this the SBH. And then say, I don't know, the V19 is my actual site. It would have the actual domain there. But I would go into the site's dashboard, which would pop me here. And I can go over here and go to backups. And then if I have my backups running, you need to have at least daily backups to have the clone feature available. You just click clone. You can do it from the last snapshot made on the website, or you can create a brand new backup and then start cloning, just depending on how much work you've done or any work at all to migrate that site over. And then once you have the three different sections here, so once you have that set, you have three different options, and I'm going to start right to left. So if it's a new website, so the site is not yet in Pro Sites, and it's going to be on a different domain name, you would type in the domain, then test URL. You need to know all of the FTP information here and then database information. You'll be able to test the connection credentials, save connection info, and then that'll start the migration process over. That's a lot of steps to have to go back and try to find all those settings sometimes. So I typically stay away from that. If it's the same domain but on a new server, so if you're migrating your website.com to a server that's going to be set up on website.com, you can do so here. So you can either put in the temporary URL or the IP address, most often the IP address. Then once you do that, I believe it's the same process as before. Yep. So just the connection info, you have your username, password, port, installation path, all that good stuff. Test credentials, save the connection info, and then clone it over. But the absolute easiest way is just the existing website in ProSites. And again, to add a website to ProSites, it's just the username, the domain name, and then the username and password to connect it, and then everything else is done for you. So you would just select that existing website. So what I say that was the V19. It's my real site. I can create a new admin if I want to. The search and visibility is if I just want to make sure that we turn on or off should search engines see this rather. And then I would click clone. It's going to give me that confirmation of, hey, you're about to do some stuff. Do you want to proceed? I'll click clone. And then it'll start the process of cloning that website over. I'll get a confirmation when it's done, and I can sit back and relax. And now if I was just doing just that first option, it would take maybe 30 seconds to a minute to do. And then I can go and hang out, watch some Netflix, talk to a client, build other sites, and so on. So again, a lot of the features inside of GoDaddy Pro are free. The premium features come when you want stuff more so automated or more frequently. So like the performance is a free service. Same thing with the security, but if you want those automated checks, there's additional cost and so on. But also, let's say that you're working with a site and you want to install a couple plugins on the fly too. You can actually do so from this dashboard. So if you go over to plugins and just click add plugin, you have that search option here available. And you can kind of go and search whatever plugins you want, your start, external storage, all that good stuff, and install it from here. And this site's going to probably break because I'm just going to install all the things. And now those services will just start running in the background. And I don't have to do that one by one by one. Again, saving you a bunch of time. Over the years of working with GoDaddy and like really getting ingrained with GoDaddy Pro and just my workflows, I've been finding all these like little nuanced things that I haven't seen before, like this add plugins, which was new, the template builder I found a couple of years ago. There's a lot of different things that help me optimize my workflow beyond just the single sign-on and plugin updates and things like that. So with all that extra time that you have now after using GoDaddy Pro, what will you do? For me, it's spending time with the family and hopefully getting some other websites built faster so I can earn more money faster and then, again, spend that time with family. And I think I ran a little bit quicker than I expected here too. But I'd love to answer anyone's questions about GoDaddy Pro or just website design in general.
Okie dokie.
Kevin Roberts said, what is the difference between Orion and GoDaddy Pro? I'm not sure I'm familiar with Orion.
I think Orion was a sort of like a product name for Managed WP back in the day. That's my recollection. Maybe who was that, Kevin? If I'm wider than Mark, I think they released Orion, which is the sort of the product name that we kind of forgotten about now.
If that's the case, then yes, they're pretty similar. The difference between GoDaddy Pro and I'd say Managed WP is the sites section stuff is probably all the same. It's the client management to where you can go and manage your clients' GoDaddy accounts and send them shopping carts and all that good stuff.
Okay, thank you. I didn't know about the templates, so Rick's just saying thank you. That was a nice thing to learn about. It sounds like you discovered it a couple of years ago as well as you were poking around.
Yeah, it was kind of hidden because I saw templates like, oh, they're probably like pre-built site like templates, right? Like you would start with, I don't need that, and I finally like looked at it as like, oh, cool, I can do a lot with this.
Yeah. The okay. The question which is always going to get raised is
Yeah,
tell us, show me the money. Tell me how much all of this costs. I don't know if that's in your purview today or whether you can give us that
yeah,
data. Yeah, great.
I I can absolutely help there. So the features will be free if you're using GoDaddy a hosting, but if you're not, it's at least in the this system here, it's a la carte. So you pay for what you use. So like the backups, I believe it was $1.80 a month. If I want the security checks, the premium, it's $1 a month. There is a bundled service as well. But as we were moving to the hub and kind of making these kind of an all-in-one type of service, the legacy, I think all up is like 150 a month for like unlimited sites or 100 something sites. It can get pretty costly. Our new model is a bit cheaper. So I'll have to grab the exact URL and I'll share it here with y'all.
Okay, thank you. So what we're looking at now is different to what's coming, which is the hub. Is it, if I was to sign up to this today, would I automatically be switched over when the hub becomes not just for the US? Is the hub basically replacing, or is it something which is in addition to what we're looking at?
Yep. So the hub will be replacing eventually. So you can sign up for either and still get access to both. So I'll show you the hub. So the same account when it wants to load.
Yeah, it's live. It never wants to load when it's live. Here we go.
My VPN kicked on midway through this, oddly, which was that what we were pop up. But you can get access to both. The hub itself, the goal of it is to bring everything into your view. Right now, GoDaddy Pro sites and the client management kind of lives off in its own separate world. I think I lost you.
No, I'm still here. I can hear you. I can still see you. I wonder if your VPN's having fun. Yep, I'm still here. Oh, what a shame. We've lost him. Hold on. I'm going to write him a quick private message. 1 second. I'm going to tell him to click refresh and see if... No, he's gone. Look, he's totally gone. Well, there you go. That's sometimes... No, here he comes. He's coming back. He's coming back.
There we go.
He's coming back. Here he comes. It's never a summit without something going wrong live.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what happened there. I wonder if your VPN kicked in or something like that. But let's put that back up. You were going to show us the hub and how it's different.
Yeah. Yep. So again, the goal of the hub is to make this GoDaddy Pro experience not off on its own island. So as you first log in, you get access to all of the experience, right? So in the old days, not old days, but it's still happening for some, you would log in, you get access to your products. Now you get the hub. You can still get to your products, but you can go in and see different errors with your hosting. Check out your benefits with your promo codes and dedicated ticketing support and exclusive offers. You have your same client management here where you can manage your clients. You have your site management where you can manage all your sites and most of the features here as well. We're still porting over some of the features into this experience. That's why we have both. But you'll be able to do a lot of the same things that you can do today. We're also adding in
a bit cleaner, isn't it? A bit more white space and very nice UI. Lovely.
Yeah, absolutely. We're also adding a dark mode too, because we've gotten feedback that it's really clean and it's really bright. Especially, I mean, me working late at night, this is not what I maybe want to see. So that's coming too. But some simple project management stuff. But there's a lot of cool stuff coming, like invoicing, e-sign, electronic signature contracts. A revenue share piece for you sending your clients carts. You're going to get a kickback instead of the in-store credit points that you get today. So lots and lots of cool stuff coming here. You can sign up and still get access to both. If you just go to hub.godaddy.com, you can, again, still access this legacy experience and kind of test it out and play. I would say with a benefit of doing this is that you get the messaging and ticketing support that you don't necessarily get everywhere else.
You sort of glossed over quite a lot of that, as if it was really obvious to you what was going on there. But you talked about clients. Can you just click on that clients bit again? What is that whole bit? What's going on in there? This is me sucking in all my clients and doing things automatically for them. How does that work? What's going on there?
Yeah. So it does the same thing as this legacy experience does today.
Okay.
But let me click on a client. So it'll let you set up delegation. So you can send your client a delegation request and say, hey, does Justin have permission to manage your account? They'll say yes. And now I can go ahead here and log into that client's GoDaddy account and manage all of their products.
Got it.
So all this stuff is free to use. Random Facebook user you.
Yeah. Who are you? Tell us your name. Click a link.
But yeah, most of this stuff here is absolutely free. All the client stuff, the default site stuff, the projects, all free to use. It's only premium when you want more of the automation and extra level of stuff. I think this. Oh no.
Oh, you need to go and get the parcel. This is how it goes.
Right. This is it.
No, it's fine. If you want to go and get the parcel, I totally can wing it for like a minute. It's completely.
Oh no, you're fine.
Okay.
And this is the pricing, since we're on this, of the automated premium type of features for sites. Okay. So that's like the extra level backups, the automated security checks, the uptime monitoring, things like that. So 5 sites, $5 a month, basically $100 a month.
Okay. So it's like a fifth of the cost once you get up into the higher tiers. I got to say, the hourly backup thing is a bit of a revelation. I didn't know about that, and that would have saved me so many hours. Even if you only use it once a month to save yourself 6 hours where something just went wrong and you've got to go back 6 hours because you had a daily backup and that was it. Yeah, that's a nice feature.
Definitely.
All add-ons. What have we got here? All add-ons for a website. I pay less than $10 per site. Is that a question? Not sure. Okay. Okay. I think that's it for the questions. We don't seem to have too many questions today. There's quite a few people watching, but everybody's being coy for some reason. Don't quite know why. But if there's anything you want to add, Justin, before we knock it on the head, feel free to do so now. Otherwise, we'll knock it on the head.
Yeah, I would say if you're one of those people that love to test out new things, definitely test out the hub. Again, just hub.godaddy.com. You can give us feedback. I look at that dashboard every single day because we're really trying to make this tailored to you all and adjusting things and getting new features out, like the managed WordPress errors and the dark mode, because y'all like, this is what I want. This is what I want to see. So we're building this for you. So the more feedback we have, the better.
Yeah, it's one of those things that if you've been building websites, like I said at the top of the webinar, if you've been building websites for any length of time for more than just yourself, you will quickly realize how arduous it is to do most of the stuff that we've just seen can be completely automated, especially the website templates at the beginning where you can set everything up and, I want to put Elementor on every site and I want to put Yoast on every site and so on and so forth. And you just basically click a button. What would take 10 minutes takes 4 seconds, and multiply that every time you do a site. Suddenly on an annual basis, it's probably hundreds and hundreds of dollars that you've saved yourself just in time alone. So yeah, go check it out. Kevin Roberts says, thanks. Thank you, Kevin. That's very nice of you to say.
Thank you, Kevin.
Ooh.
Can you use this on an iPad?
The answer would be yes, but I'm guessing you're just in the web, or is there an actual app?
There's not an app yet. It's been talked about. Probably nothing here we can do too soon.
Nice.
But yeah, you can access it in an iPad.
Yeah, you're just going to have to access it in the same way that we're seeing it now. Yeah, that works. Just just go for it. Replay of the webinar. Yes, I'm going to tomorrow at some point. I will parcel all this up and I will send it over to the GoDaddy Pro team and they can make use of it in any which way. If you're watching this as you are in the Facebook group, then it's just going to sit there. So you can watch this over and over. I'm guessing you came in late. You can watch it. Yeah, there's a lot that Justin went through. So rewind. You can just watch it now if you like. You just click rewind and start it all over again. And again, another Facebook user saying thanks. Great.
Yeah, thank you all.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Go check it out. GoDaddy Pro. You can probably just Google that and find everything that you need. Really appreciate it. And you top out. This is it. The summit is over.
This is it.
This is the whole thing.
I'm a little sad.
Yeah, I know. We've had thousands of people checking out lots and lots of presentations, and this is the moment when it all comes to an end. So thanks, Jack. Okay. Thanks, Jack. And right, I'm going to end it, and we'll see you all soon. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.